Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. We're here from filming in Chagrin Falls live, and we're talking about the Vincina Protocol. And we are really glad to have you. We have my partner Bobby here. He is one of the team members, as well as Mike, who'll be narrating, and he is also here as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Tonight is really nothing more. We've been rehearsing with other teams in other cities for the last 4 hours, Dave. And what we wanted to do was just kind of recap the events that went on today so that the Cincinnati team can take a look at this and they can mimic what we've done up here in Chagrin Falls. So what I'd like to do is ask Wendy a few questions. And in doing that questioning, I just want the public to understand that this is what we go through to build a live episode, which launches tomorrow night. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we're actually doing the episode. These little issues we're doing right now are going to be the core of tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, so just to get everybody up to speed who isn't familiar with the Vincina Protocol, basically what we do is we educate the public. Vincina was Mike's wife, Vincina Helfenstein, and she sadly passed away from Lou Gehrig's disease in 2014. And so Mike made a promise to his wife that we would get out there and educate the public about what Lou Gehrig's disease or ALS is. Trying to make a movement to get the diagnosis protocol or diagnosis and treatment protocol written for that. We're also going to be talking about things like toxic waste and dump sites that have a trigger to ALS, as well as the bacteria BMAA, which you guys can look up and do more research on that if you want, and some ways to clean up the body and get to the bottom of how do we stay healthy. So that's a kind of a nutshell about what the Vincina Protocol is, and I'll turn it back over to Mike with his intro here.
So what we're going to do is we're going to explain what it was like building teams so that other communities out there who listen to this can mimic what we're doing, call us, and we'll send the data book out to those communities. So we're just going to go back a ways, and this will be February of 2015 when I went down to Cincinnati to build a team headed by Chella Marie Smith. So I want to ask Wendy, as Wendy read the story from the data book, give me a little overview as to what that was like for you reading Chella's story of February 2015.
Well, it's exciting, it's interesting, it's fast paced, and I learned a lot. I mean, Chella's really an outgoing, bubbly gal, and she's a huge asset to the Vincina Protocol.
Uh, Bobby, you've been watching this unfold, and you've been watching Wendy read all this data, the same data that Chella's been reading. Um, what do you get out of this this process that I do, trying to build the team? What's it like for you?
Well, at first it was, pretty hard to comprehend. Now it's all starting to tie together. What this project is about, and I think Wendy's doing a great job telling the story. I think there's more people that need to get out and tell this story and get the word out there. Cause the awareness and let people know what's going on, because there's not enough people that know what's going on.
That's right.
All right. Wendy, um, it took a long time. You and I have been talking on the phone for at least 6 months, just building this first episode, which basically is released tomorrow night. So, what's that like? When I first approached you, um, and I sat down at your office, explain to the public what it was like.
Well, knowing your family for so long and knowing what amazing people they are, and knowing Vincina before she got sick was an honor, I might say, but just really inspired me I mean, I was like Bobby, kind of like, wow, there's so many legs to this project and trying to understand it all, but
It's a lot to comprehend.
a lot to the story. But I think now that I understand it, I'm really excited.
Bobby, you've read a few of the pages that talks about the Cella story. Give me your um, perception of what Cella is. You have never met Cella, so just reading the story, kind of explain why Cella is in charge of the project.
What I get from Chella is, I've talked to her, on Facebook a couple times, and she's a total pro, and her professionalism just it stands out. She can get the word out there. She has a lot of following, and she's good at what she does. Like this stuff's new for me, but it
Yeah,
seems
she's
like
good at what she does.
Chella just gets it, and she's not camera shy. She's good on camera, and she knows how to use words correctly.
I think we've talked a few times um, um listening to people. They give us a lot of phone calls. We get a lot of inboxing right now. Um, when I am in a meeting and I bring up Chella's name, um, and people are hearing that because when we do our meetings, even we are basically, if we're not FaceTiming, we're using this application here, the Google Hangout, because we have a great bandwidth using Google. When I'm talking about Cello, we seem to get a lot of phone calls in our meetings where they're asking, "Where's Cella?" How should we explain to the public as to where's Cella?
Well, that's simple. Cella is in Cincinnati, and we're here up in the Cleveland market. So, that's, I guess, exactly the point. Is we're looking to we've got Southern Ohio and now Northern Ohio, and we're looking to expand all over the U.S. So, we're looking for people to join our team, and we want the same thing to happen when we're doing our broadcasts. Is how do we get involved? How can I be a part of this? So that's what we're here for. Exactly.
What draws you to the Vincina Protocol, Bobby?
The story is just amazing. It's an amazing story, and in the facts that you provided with the story, how could you turn your back on something like that? How you told me the story about your wife, and you funded all your money, and till you depleted all your accounts, and this stuff's right in our backyard. Yes, and this is right in our backyard. People don't realize it, and it just intrigued me, you know.
We are having fun. I mean, although this is very, very serious stuff, um, the, um, the program that we work off of, those people who like going to the movies and getting dinner and telling the story. Have you done that yet, Bobby? Taken someone out to dinner?
No, but I'm planning on it. I'm in the process. I'm working on that. I'm sending messages out to my friends. Um, they're going to ask me what's going on, and I'm going to tell them what's going on.
Okay.
It's going to be very soon.
Okay. Wendy, you're a pro at this now that you've been around for almost 6 years. Um, with with all of this, what was it like for you um, going to dinner? You actually drove to dinner to meet me, and then you invited me to a movie. Talk about that and what it was like and why you came up with this slogan.
I just think that it's a great way, first of all, to support local business owners, get them involved, use that as a platform to say, hey, here's what we're doing. And talk about the Vincina Protocol. And keep it fun, keep it light. I mean, like Mike said, it is kind of a sad story, but we are hell bent on having a good time while we make a mark on the good God's good green earth of this story.
And I thought you were meeting him for a free meal.
Actually, Wendy paid
Whoa,
for everything.
no way.
Everything.
How about that?
Wow.
I mean, she didn't take me to McDonald's. Wendy took me to the most expensive restaurant that I've ever been at.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Well,
but
I
it was
do.
nice.
I
It
do.
was
Now,
nice.
Wendy invited me to Jimmy D's in,
Jimmy the Duns. Jimmy
and
D's.
I was very, very impressed. Now, when I sat down and I'm looking around, I said to Wendy, "Oh my God!" Back in February of 2015, Chella invited me to Jimmy G's in Cincinnati downtown.
Did she pay?
Isn't
um,
that crazy?
Chella,
Did she pay that?
Chella, Chella paid for everything.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
that's hard to believe.
No, she paid for everything. We're going to have to get her to tell that story. We'll do that on her episode.
So
But-
Mike's got a secret. There,
Yeah.
Maybe you need to learn about it.
I know. Come out with a book like that, Mike.
I think we're going to actually publish that book, and that ought to be a hoot. Chella doesn't know anything about the book, but maybe what we should do is have a group up here drive down to Cincinnati and present the data book
That sounds like
to
fun.
Chella.
Hell yeah.
That'd be great. We would love that.
Now, Wendy is interesting. Wendy calls Bobby and spends a little bit of time negotiating with Bobby to come into the Vincina Protocol. How long was Wendy talking to you, negotiating with you to get you to come into the Vincina Protocol? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It was a couple hours. I don't know if it was negotiating. It was just more or less wanting to be part of a good story and for a good cause. And
I bet you if you add up all those days and phone calls, it was a good 12 hours, I'm thinking.
yeah, you're probably right.
You know what I mean? If you add it all
Oh
up.
yeah,
Okay.
you know, a few hours on the first initial
Yeah.
meet. but
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot to tell.
Well,
probably
obviously,
12 hours.
Chella believes the longer you negotiate, the better the story develops. Because what we've actually done is we've brought your stories, Wendy's and Bobby's story, converging with Chella's story. Chella's story is huge, and Chella will tell, her public in Cincinnati.
Yeah, she's got like a huge following.
That is correct.
It's amazing.
Popular girl.
What do you think the future is for Wendy? Bob, you can give a little more insight to that.
Future for Wendy? I don't know. I think Wendy is striving to be very successful, and she's gonna reach
That's
her
right.
goals. That's my bitch.
That's right. That's
But
right.
she's gonna be very successful, and she just has that determination.
Do you remember receiving a text from Wendy on a quick overview? Can you describe that text and how it affected you? That's my only interest.
I remember it, but I was kind of weary of it.
Okay.
I didn't know how to take it,
Okay. Okay.
But until everything started to come together,
Okay.
now it makes perfectly good sense.
When you sent the text to me, Wendy, what was the purpose sending it to me? Because I knew the project. What were you thinking when that text was being sent to me?
I think I was just looking for feedback on what you thought. Trying to get your feedback.
See if he's a quack or not.
Now, we don't spend a lot of time talking about Connie in Ohio, but yet that is the subject matter. What can you describe in the conversations that we've had about Connie in Ohio? I think we've always talked well of it. I think our only issue is trying to connect with the politicians in
Right.
Connie in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is definitely to try and, in a friendly way, just get people to take action. I know the beginning of the story. I know that Squeak and Mike grew up in Conneaut, Ohio. I know that they moved away for a little bit and moved back to Conneaut, owned some restaurants, and, you know, brought up their family there. I know that they took public action to create awareness about the serious drug abuse there, and the dumping of methamphetamine waste and chemicals from manufacturers. They are just huge activists in Conneaut. So, and I know that, you know, we would just really like not to necessarily cause controversy, but cause action in Conneaut and get things cleaned up. And I know that there are a lot of other towns around the U.S. that, you know, are in the same boat.
Oh, it's why they started that dumping there. He figured it's a small little town.
No one would notice.
Exactly. No one's going to notice. And then, you know, you have a guy like Mike and started investigating and found out what you found.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, I just don't understand how this isn't on Channel 19 News or
Seriously.
news movie.
Well, maybe you guys can make some phone calls. I'm not. I'm going to just stay focused. And I think the whole idea is, which one of the members, I can't remember who wrote the poem. Who's the poet in our project?
I have to say Wendy.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of Channel 19, you know, I was in the TV industry and I have a lot of great contacts. So I think I'm going to start reaching out and sharing a little bit about this, and hopefully I mean, everybody I tell is like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing story. They're blown away by it, just like you were.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, that's something we're going to start doing, is talking to, you know, I have some people I know at the Plain Dealer, and I was in, you know, radio. I know a lot of people, friends in radio. So I think, you know, we should try to reach out, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, just go back. Why did you write the poem? Was it because you wanted to send it to the TV stations? This poet status that you now have.
I'm the beauty and she's the brains.
Yes. I see that.
Beauty.
So are you going to answer the question? You being a poet, from TV advertising to the Vincina Protocol, why did you use the poem as a vehicle to connect with the public?
I think I'm just trying to keep things interesting, because this is such a sad story. Trying to keep things light, trying to keep things interesting, and you know,
Get the word out quick, short and simple.
that's all I got.
So you do like going to the movies?
Yeah.
Driving to a restaurant to tell the Vincina Protocol story.
I like going to the movies, and I like driving to dinner, and I love telling the Vincina Protocol story.
So you're going to do this again?
You know it.
And Bobby?
I have made the commitment.
Hey,
I'm all in.
I'm all in too. You got to give me a company credit card.
Yeah.
And get that story out.
There we
Well,
go.
yeah. So we obviously,
That's Channel 19.
David, they're calling me now. They're not calling you.
Oh, we've got some callers.
But I want to kind of stay on point. I'll take the voicemail. It'll go to voicemail, and then I will call
Okay.
later, and we'll discuss it tomorrow night.
Sure.
David, do you have any questions to Bobby and Wendy? Did you fall asleep, Dave?
No, I'm still here.
I know.
There he is.
I was just teasing, David.
No, I'm still here. No, I don't have any questions at all. I mean, nope, nothing at all.
The way that we're going to go about this, obviously, tonight's little episode is to challenge Cella's team in Cincinnati to do a better episode and present the
Ooh,
information.
yeah.
No way.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
You know, this is where
No
we're
way.
going. We need Cella to review this, and we need her
Sweet.
to take this data that we talked about tonight, and let's see how Cella tells the story. And she's very creative.
She
And
is.
so let's put this out there to Cella as a challenge to review tonight's little training day. That's what this was all about. Bobby is pretty well focused on how this is going to play out in his group over in Parma, and Wendy obviously has done a great job building the Chagrin team.
Yeah, we want to get the Cincinnati team on board with our ball bearing baseball game too. We need to get them on so we can build a team and and get that rolling and
Oh, yeah.
get that
Our old little ice bucket challenge going.
Yes, exactly. It's like our
It's
version
a
of
cool
the ice
game,
bucket
people.
challenge. So we're excited. We want to get to Cincinnati. Come on, you guys. You gotta get the ball bearing game and
Come on, Chava, bring it.
bring
Come
it
on.
on, baby. Bring it on.
So if I understand correctly, you're going to get the rest of the group to drive to Cincinnati to go to a restaurant and tell the Encino Protocol story in front of Jella. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I think we're gonna look at maybe even that's coming up, like possibly this Sunday.
Hey, I'm there. If Chava's paying, I'm
She
there.
buying
Chava,
dinner yet?
I'm expensive taste, girl. Get your pocketbook ready.
All right.
All right, Dave, thank you. This is enough for tonight. Let's upload that and we'll wait for Chella to respond.